Oh man, yo, man, what's going? I can't even do the intro right this time around, man. What's good, man? We're back for another episode, Chopping Over Q podcast. Um, hella inconsistent this past year, but hey, what can I say? I don't know. It's all V fault. Then that what we do
It
is
is
just
blame it on whoever's available.
yeah, nah, man. You know, when all else fail, you blame it on the black woman. At least that's what a lot of brothers be doing. I thought I was
Oh,
just
Jesus
hop
Christ.
on in line.
Jesus Christ. No, it's not what we're gonna do. As the young man said, welcome back to another episode of Inconsistency, the podcast.
Hey, damn, they need to change the name while you playing. Instead of being like, hey, yo, every Monday at this time, be like, hey, man, look, just pay attention to the drop. We'll be there.
We're gonna do our best. Listen, we're doing shit. We're trying. Listen, school is hard. School is hard. Children are hard. I don't got none of that. He got all of that. So I really,
Hey, it is mostly my fault. I ain't gonna lie.
Being alive is difficult for me right now. I'm doing my best, and it is just so fucking hard. And I just don't know if anyone told me that it was gonna be this difficult.
You know what? My pops did, because I remember I used to always get in there and be like, man, I can't wait till I'm grown so I can just do what I want to. He was like, all right. He was like, you keep saying that. You're going to wish to go back to high school. And honestly, I'd rather deal with the issues of high school. I ain't had that many, so it wasn't that bad. It was just honestly getting there on time.
I was like, honestly, I don't know if I want to go back to high school. I could probably just kind of go back to not having the responsibilities. But I want to go fucking back to...
I mean, think about it. Like high school, you school and sports. That's all you had to worry about.
Yeah, but still.
But I guess
I like having my own money. Like, if you're gonna have to sit somewhere for 8 hours, the least they can do is pay you for the shit. So I can't say that I can't say that I'm gonna sign back up for that shit and then have to be at somebody else's mercy about some money.
Man, look, my mom tried that when I first graduated, and I go back, I probably would have did the same thing. So for her trick to try to get me to stay local, because she wanted me to go to Lamar first, and it's like, oh, you go there, and if you just do well, then you can go anywhere you want, and I'll even buy you a car. And I'm like, that sounds good, but I know you, so that means you're gonna have control of the car. That means you're gonna be control. It's gonna be like I was 15 again. I said, nah, I'm good. I'm about to go up the street. Let's just say I graduated from Lamar, so hey, maybe I should have. I don't know.
Man, listen, I just be wanting you to do shit. I don't be having anything better to do. See, ain't got time for that.
Hey, look, I went up there and did everything they told me not to. Uncles and aunts, they was like, hey, just get here, get your books. Don't worry about the girls. They gonna be there, blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing I was worried about when I first went off. And I would say TSU didn't make it any better, because we had like I call it a titties and ass party, but it was PJ pajama jam. And I'm like, yo, is college gonna be like this?
So I'm quiet because I'm just staring at him over this Skype connection and silently judging him and shaking my head. Like, I'm just sitting over here judging him very harshly right now.
That's fine. I get it. But I mean, think about it, because that's why you always tell people don't go to college in a relationship, because the one you with, who you think is like you really feeling, and you think they that cute or that fine, and then you go off to college and you find about 20 of that same person on that level, and you really start thinking like, damn, man, I really need to be in a relationship right now? Was I the only one, or y'all just, or...
Okay, next. All right. Enough of this. This man just, God bless y'all. Do what you want to do. We're not advocating for y'all to do anything but go to school and get an education. That's it. That's all. We don't know nothing about the rest of that. Y'all just do what makes you feel special and beautiful and shine bright like a diamond.
Hey, sow your royal oats.
Or something.
Like Hakeem.
Or something. The royal penis is clean or something, Your Highness. God bless. Go to school. Thanks.
It's kind of, I ain't gonna tell about how, that's probably why she hate me now. Because I remember how I broke up with her initially was like horrible. Like, I kind of just like faked the fight with her and said, man, you know what, just don't call me. And I like hung up, and she called me for like 2-3 days straight. I just didn't answer.
That's usually what I like to do.
All right, so I don't feel as bad now.
Well, no, because I'm a nigga, so I don't know why you wouldn't feel bad. I didn't say it was right. I just said it's what I like to do. So I don't think that absolves you of anything, really. It just makes us both terrible.
Oh, man. So, V, you out here ghosting niggas in our glorious day of our Lord in 2019?
Maybe. What's it to you?
I'm just asking, man. I remember,
Maybe.
we were trying to...
Maybe you're being messy. I don't know. What's up?
No, I'm just trying to set up the rules for the dating game show idea we had. I was pitching to you.
Okay. Refresh my memory. What is this?
Oh yeah. So remember we were online and you were like, these dudes. If something along the lines of dating, like you get them and you find out that they really like horrible people or they have like sketchy past or whatever. So instead, we're gonna kind of do like the Bachelorette for you. Podcast style. So we just gonna bring dudes on kind of like a speed dating type thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, see, I don't see why not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no. No. That sounds like a recipe for disaster. It sounds like every strange man in a 50 to 60 mile radius who's ever thought about murdering somebody, sex trafficking them, or possibly stealing their kidneys will be in line.
Man, speaking of that.
Because that is the kind of look that I have. So I feel like this is going to end badly. Now,
oh, go ahead.
If you really want to set this up and you promise not to bring any axe murderers. Actually,
right.
Well, I feel like we can do it over Skype and they can go to your house. And then they can sit there with you. And then if they make it to a certain round, then they can meet me in person.
So what you're saying is we invite them to my domicile.
Yes.
And if they weird, then I deal with their weirdness. Is what you get.
Well, you're a dude and they're a dude. So if they're weird, you just be like, hey nigga, get your weird ass out my house. You can't date my sister / co-host. And then they leave.
Matter of fact, that's what you're gonna start doing. Every time you anyone adventures, I have to vet them. Just I'm have to ask. I'm gonna have like a bunch of questions just to ask them.
That's what the game show is. You invite them to your house, and we have a 3-way Skype, and then you ask all the questions, and I just sit here and nod, and then I be like, thumbs up or thumbs down. If I thumbs down, you should come out of here like Gladiator.
Yeah, it'd be like, hey, yo, if I looked at your porn collection and past searches, would I be like, nigga or nigga?
Nigga or nigga, really?
Nigga, really? Like, what you doing out here?
So you got the kind of porn where we should just delete it if you die so your mama don't see it, or do you have the kind of porn where we need to delete it so the FBI don't see it?
Yeah, do I need to report you to somebody? That type of shit.
Exactly. That's important. Let me write that on my list. That's a good question. That's a good first date question. What's your porn? What's your porn stash look like? That is a good first date question.
I mean, I say that what people watch and what they live, people's entertainment will tell you a lot about them. Valid point. But I do also have to go on record. To all my ladies out here, family members, friends, people I ain't never messed with, whatever. Here we are at 6:02 p.m. on February 2nd, day of our Lord of 2019. I was on YouTube, and they had this one YouTuber. I forgot his name. It's like Fresh something. But anyways, he was doing a DM fail video, basically just roasting niggas. And when I say dudes are beyond weird, like he had like photos of dudes really having a full blown conversation with themselves in DMs, and when the women don't respond, they like, well, fuck you then, which I never understood. Like, nigga, you talking about she ugly anyway, but you sure was trying to shoot your shot.
We only get ugly after we reject them.
That's what I'm saying.
We're not ugly at first. We're only ugly because we don't want them. Then we're ugly. And the crazy part is, it's not even that we're rejecting them because we think they're ugly. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, you know, you jump in. You could be attractive, but you could just say some crazy shit that makes me not want to respond.
When you say, "Hey, what's up? Hey, let me put my thumb in your ass," and that's the second thing you ask. Like, yo, you really just like pulling from end to end, huh? That's how we doing it. Low percentage shots, I said.
Low hanging fruit, whatever you want to call it, but it's some wild shit.
I'm like, okay, dudes, if you are that type of guy, please explain. I was like, I need to understand the method because last time I checked, that ain't it.
Okay. Because as a woman, I don't really understand what the logic is there. Is it because you're entitled and they want something that they cannot have, and so it's like a grown up tantrum, or is it just like rejection and not being able to handle it, so then they lash out? Like, I'm trying to figure out what it stems from. Because it just seems to me like if I message somebody and they didn't respond on the internet, like, you don't know this person. So why are you so upset that they didn't respond? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I message somebody and they just never said anything back, I would just be like, okay, well, they're not interested. And that would be the end of it. So why is it that men are so bad with rejection, but then women don't? You know what I'm saying? Like, women shoot their shot and then it doesn't nothing happens. We don't be like, fuck you too, ugly nigga. Like,
I think the only thing that women throw out there is, oh, you must be gay then.
Gay. Okay, well, yeah, I have heard that.
That's the only thing I ever heard. I ain't never heard, well, nigga, that's why you ugly and your whatever. I don't know, man. Y'all probably be throwing slugs out there, but we just don't hear it.
See, well, maybe that's it too. I think that maybe women take, I shouldn't even say women take L's in silence. I think dudes just don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think it happens and then dudes kind of laugh it off and they probably show it to their friends, but they don't come to the internet talking about these stupid bitches in my DMs. So I think it's different. You know, it's like, I think it happens on both sides. It probably does happen to women more, but when it happens to men, they don't feel the need to make it public knowledge. See,
I think as a dude, this is going to probably just shed light on myself. I can feel kind of proud when I have to turn some women down. Be like, oh, well, shit, I'm out here, man. Shit, I got
you feel like you still got it.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to say no out here. That's what's up.
Yeah, and I think, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they always joke about women shooting their shots and coming on to men more. And I don't think that it necessarily would be a bad thing. I think if you are an attractive woman and I don't even think you had to be super attractive, right? I think you could just be like fairly attractive as a woman, and you approach somebody a guy that you find attracactive. If he's not, well, I can't say if he's not seeing anybody because a lot of them don't give a fuck.
Hey.
But
you interested in me? No, hey.
Yeah, there's neither here nor there about them giving a fuck. But like the last podcast we talked about where they did that fucking dating show for that poor girl and nigga had a whole girlfriend. So, I mean, I think it is one of those things where you just like to know that you can flex it a little bit and still got it. So I think, reasonably speaking, if an attractive woman approached men more often, especially men that she found attractive, I think women would have a really good success rate with that. I think very rarely would a woman approach someone that she finds attractive and get turned away.
Yeah, see, here's always the issue. I think I probably said this before, is that y'all always got what we want anyway. Like, just starting off. So, a woman is shooting her shot, yeah, you're going to have a higher percentage rate anyway. And honestly, you could be like super extra average out here and you still going to have a higher percentage. I'm just saying. Whereas, I guess, because some guys, I guess it messes up their confidence because I think more men will hear no more often than yes in a lot of cases. And if a lot of people hear no, it kind of mess with their head, which don't give it right anyway, but, I assume.
Yeah, I think it's just, maybe that is it. Maybe it just kind of is one of those things where if you get turned down enough, then you just kind of start lashing out, maybe, I guess.
I don't know. That's when folks be like, man, what you talking about, man? I could have bought you everything you wanted. That's how you know you don't have game if you use your money to pull or your car or something external to try to pull her. You ain't got no game, dog.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing that I've always found interesting about that, right? Like it's a very interesting kind of catch-22 because as a man, you say things like you don't want a woman that's interested in you for your money or what you can provide, right? You want her to be there for you. Mm-hmm. But then you have these men who immediately, when they don't get your attention, I would have spoiled you. I would have gave you everything. And it's like, okay, well then you don't want me to be a gold digger, or you do.
Yeah. See, we want you to, but we want it to be on our terms. It's kind of like one of those, yeah, it's one of those we want things.
It's cool for me to want shit, but I can't want shit until you say it's okay for me to want shit. Yeah. So going into it, I have to pretend like I gotta be cool with you being a broke nigga, even though I know you're not. I have to be cool with you not wanting to give me anything. And then once I make it to past a certain point, then if you want to give me something, I should be grateful for it. And then it's cool to kind of ask for stuff. Yeah, or man, is it not cool to ask for stuff? Like so at what phase am I allowed to ask for things? Is it never? Or am I supposed to wait for you to offer? Like, is it okay to be like, hey, you're coming over here, I want some chicken nuggets? Or is it never okay to ask for chicken nuggets?
Man, you know,
when is it okay to start asking for steak? Like, I'm not...
I don't know, man. Wait till you get to level 9,000. I don't know. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know because you remember you used to listen to it like all the time, like old R&B musics and matter of fact, I think it was a Jamie Foxx song or something like that. What was the name of it? And he was like, he wanted a woman who doesn't need him but want him, and so on and so forth. So I don't know, man. People are confusing. People don't really know what they want.
But you can need someone to be in your life, or need a person, or you just say, I think you can. Well, here's the thing. I think you can want a person to be in your life and not need them.
Yeah.
But I also think that you can expect a certain level, or want a certain level of treatment from somebody and still not need them. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Like, I think there's a fine line between me being able to subsidize my own life, and then you coming into the picture and me being like, I'm not grateful for chicken nuggets because I can also buy chicken nuggets. So thank you for these chicken nuggets, but
it came from me and from the heart.
Which in some cases is fine, but I do believe, like, okay, so here's my thing. I think that for anybody, I think that with a certain level of lifestyle or status or whatever you want to call it, there becomes a certain level of expectation, right? Mm-hmm. So I think, like, even now, like, even as adults, we look back, like, birthdays or Christmases, if you're dating somebody or you're in a relationship, when we were broke college students, which not to say I'm not broke now, but when I was broker.
Yeah, I was like, I got kids, I stay broke.
When I was more broke than I am now, okay, for instance, the boyfriend I had in college, we didn't really have a lot of money. We had like part-time jobs. We were full-time students. So when it came to birthdays and stuff, we wouldn't do like a whole bunch. We'd probably get together and go out to eat at some chain restaurant, or, you know, if I'm buying this person a gift, like for instance, with this person, his birthday was in August. He liked fitted caps. He was a super huge Yankees fan. He liked fitted caps every year. All he wanted was a new fitted Yankees cap and a news copy of Madden, because it would come out right around his birthday. So every year I bought Madden, a fitted cap, and then something else like a shirt or something like that for him. But it was relatively small in terms of birthday gifts because we're fucking broke. Mm-hmm. So I think as you get older, obviously you're able to, if you're less broke, you don't, like, I would never buy somebody a fitted cap and a fucking copy of Madden as a birthday gift now. Like, if they wanted that, cool, but I would probably buy them, you know, I would buy them other things.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I guess, you know, life is about progression anyway.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the levels of progression should kind of mirror that, right? I'm not saying people should all be gold diggers and a person should only be interested in you for your money, but I also feel like you can't be a broke, stingy ass bitch with somebody when y'all both making fucking $120,000 a year and you expect her to be cool because you went and bought her some fucking some shoes at Shoe Carnival.
Yeah, man.
Like if she ain't never bought none of if she ain't bought no shoes at Shoe Carnival since fucking '98, why would she want a gift from you that came from Shoe Carnival?
Talking about, man, I'm going out and buy them Clarissas, the see-through shoes with the girls you seen ain't wearing no socks with them shit, so you see nothing but sweat at the bottom. That's what she getting.
The jelly?
Yeah.
No.
Or them what was some of those shoes, them Chinese slippers they used to get from the hair store that'll fall apart like
the mesh joints where you slipped your foot in and had the flowers on the top.
Yeah, man. Man, you knew that if you caught a woman wearing that, you know I'm here to mess up your life. That's just basically it. Oh man. Damn, that's taking it back. But I guess it also goes into see, I guess some people are like this. And this is unfortunate when it comes to interactions, is that everybody doesn't want to feel like they're getting used. So we go in and we don't ever put 100% effort in. So when it comes to your money, you're not willing to give someone a lot right away because you don't want to have them make out like a villain.
Right. But then why, if that is the case and you don't want to invest yourself wholly, then why come back with I could have gave you everything and you just missed out and I would have spoiled you, because my whole thing is that may not have still happened. Like, why is that your rebuttal when you and this person have just met or just fallen out or just whatever? If you weren't going to invest 100% to begin with, how is that even something to bring up? Oh. Because that would have required an investment at some point on your part, and you may not have ever gotten there. Yeah. So you're telling this person, yeah, you fucked up. I would have given you the world. And it's like, well, how do I know that would have happened? We could have dated for 2 months and then decided we hated each other. Or you could have decided after a month that you found a better bitch and been like, hey girl, it's over, and ghosted me. And then all I got was like a date to fucking Chili's. Like you don't ever know. So I don't understand why people lead with that. Is there, fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, first of all, for all my dudes who are trying to pretend, if you got a woman who hasn't been introduced to fancy living or anything like that, take her to Cheddar's. It appears fancy and you only spend $20. But I think only reason they do it is because it's like, oh, you didn't want to mess with me, but this is what you missing out on. See, I could have had you rolling in all the finest of linens and all that stuff, but you playing.
Yeah.
But it's desperation, man. People say a lot of stuff when they desperate, or they just want you to feel sorry for rejecting them.
Okay, next. Okay, enough about that. It's very tiring. Now my head hurts, and I don't know. Now I just want to give up dating. The end.
I know.
All right, great. It's already going poorly. Like I don't want to think about it right now. So let's just move on to something else.
Yeah, I can't even imagine at this age. And it's like we're not old, but we're not young. We've gotten past that naive stage, and now we kind of have an understanding of what we need and want out of life. So it's hard to find someone who matches evenly up with that. But
it's just very jaded. Like it's just like I think we're not old, we're not young, but you just lived enough to be like an old grizzled veteran. Like you're not old, you just like football years old, and it's gross.
Yeah, you at that point it was like, man, fuck all this. Like, practice. I ain't going to practice. Tell me when the game is. I'll be there.
So yeah, I ain't time for that. I ain't fucking practicing.
Oh man, but I also learned something else about myself today. So, so I live in northern Dallas area, and it's very how can I say, very diverse. And I'm just realizing how many Indian kids like basketball and other kids, because usually where I'm from is there's a lot of black folks. So usually when you see sports teams, it's really either mostly black or you got a couple sprinkles of white boys here and there. But you don't ever really see, like, when a lot of people talk about like race and all that stuff. But it's like you don't really see like Asian kids and Middle Eastern and Indian kids doing a lot of sports. So
yeah,
I mean, it's interesting, especially if you see him like play football. You're like, oh, it's a little Indian kid playing football. Oh shit! But I don't know. I found that interesting though. And I'm also working on okay. So to all the people who don't know, I've never been the most forgiving person, and I'm usually not really a jaded person. But if I start messing with you, I start messing with you, and I
That's
usually
the
never talk to you.
Gemini in him. That's the Gemini. It just leapt out. The Gemini leaping out of him. Do you see? It just leapt out. Couldn't even control it. Just
Probably.
out.
But you know, it's like I don't have a grudge against anybody. I just kind of say, okay, this is what happened when we did this, so we're not gonna do that anymore, and that's just a wrap on that. So I've been trying to work. So I've been, in communication with my daughter's grandparents on her mother's side, and we've been kind of trying to. I'm growing just a little bit. I'm like, okay, y'all want to come hang out with us? All right. Even though I'm still side eyeing, like, man, hold up, what you really here for? What's your plan? I need to get out of that eventually. But I guess so. So far it's going smoothly. But I guess one of the questions I would have is like, how do you like when someone has been involved in something that affected you negatively? How do you really move past that stuff?
Well, I'm gonna say the most cliche thing in the book.
Time
heals all. Time heals all wounds. Now, I will preference that with saying that time heals wounds when you are able to step away from the situation and critically think about it, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because time does not heal wounds if you and the person or the thing that has upset you have to constantly be in contact and the wound does not have time to heal. You know what I'm saying? Scars fade, things do go away. But but like anything, the scar is still there. It's not disappearing into the nothingness, right? Like and that's why I tell people, forgiving someone does not mean forgetting the things that they have done to you. The forgiveness is for you, so that you do not walk around harboring hatred or feeling bad or ill will or unpositive, negative thoughts towards a person. But I think that for a lot of people, that is easier said than done. Like, it is very hard to separate those feelings from your anger, right? But I think that is the healing process, right? You are upset or sad, and then you are angry. And for a lot of us, we get stuck in that anger. And so until you are ready to move past that anger, you really can't forgive someone.
See,
I think that's the hard part.
It's so funny because I was worse when I was younger, man. I'd be the one break over somebody. Oh man, you out here, you can't even make noodles right? Nah, man, this ain't gonna work. Goofy shit. But I mean, but honestly, I think a lot of this stuff, marriage has really helped me deal with like working things out. Because I was one of those ones like, I ain't working nothing out. This is how it's gonna be done. If you don't want to, there's the door. You can roll. But I guess when you get older, you start realizing, hey, look, this stuff requires a lot of work, a lot of forgiveness, which is tough. And we already know rebuilding relationships, especially, are difficult, and that's what I'm trying to do now. And I'm trying not to be an a-hole about it or real tough on them, but it's like I'm trying to let you know, hey, look, this your shot, and if you don't do it right, you don't get third chances.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's fair. That's very fair, because what are you supposed to do? I mean, it's not like not in your case, not to, put all your business out there, but it's not like they have fucking ate the last, it's not like they ate your fucking leftovers out the fridge or some shit. And you're just kind of upset about that.
Over that, but I digress.
Yeah, it's not like they came to your house and like tracked some mud on your carpet and accidentally knocked over a vase or some shit. And you like, oh, fuck these niggas, they can never come back to our house. It's not that. You see what I'm saying? Like, the things that you are upset about without, putting your business out there, what you are upset about is logically is something to seriously be upset about. So I could see why you are reticent to give them a second chance. or a third chance or having, like, I get that. Because I don't know if I was in your position that I would be willing to give them a second chance. That's something I would have to mull over very hard because I'm crazy. And nothing in my crazy ass mind says, hey, Capricorn girl, let's give people, like, no, I'm not that person. Because it takes so long for me to get upset about stuff that when I finally do, I'm already over the ledge. So at that point, there's nothing left. There's nothing to come back from. We're already over there. We done already shot it into outer space. So it's nothing left for us to do. Yeah. You better go fucking colonize Mars, bitch, because you can't come back to Earth fucking with me.
See, I think that's why I had to slow down, because I know I would say I get mad quick. Yeah, I get mad quick. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Especially if it's like some goofy stuff that someone does, where like, no, what would you think in that type of situation? Or I don't know, man. I'm like I said, I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to be a better me, eventually. But I mean, all right. I mean, that was my whole thing, because I was just wondering, like, I think sometimes I overthink it and I always just assume the worst from people. So that's kind of also keeps me from wanting to actually go through that process, because I'm like, nah, people just gonna do what they want to anyway. But I guess, I don't know. I guess moving on. You said you wanted to talk something similar with B. Smith. Now, do you have a background? Because I know I kind of read up on her, and I think she was a model and owns a restaurant or something like that, huh?
The easiest way to kind of describe B. Smith is to kind of look at her as like the black version of Martha Stewart.
Ah, okay.
She had the lifestyle home, restaurant as well, but she kind of was that staple and that fixture in New York, in that area, the Hamptons, that type of area. But she kind of was out there doing the Martha Stewart type thing, before there was even a Martha Stewart. Like I believe she had a TV show and a few other things as well. So for those of you who don't know, B. Smith has Alzheimer's, and what has happened is that she is kind of in the phases where where she just kind of comes in and out of it. So sometimes she does not recognize people, and then she has the moments of lucidity where she is fully aware of what's going on. B. Smith is married. I cannot remember what her husband's name is, but he goes by something, Bob or Rob or some shit. I don't remember what it is. But the husband, now B. Smith and the husband, because when she first got the diagnosis, they wrote a book together kind of about, what it's like to be living with Alzheimer's and what that looks like for them day to day. Now, a lot of people did not know who B. Smith was, and she has kind of come back into prominence, and it is not to have a discussion about Alzheimer's awareness. What the discussion is that it has come out that her husband has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend lives in their home with them. And apparently the girlfriend also, when they all go out to dinner and I don't know if they're still going out to dinner together, but him and the girlfriend go out places, they go on dates together, they do things together. And then, B. Smith is obviously at home dealing with Alzheimer's, whatever. And it's my understanding that sometimes the girlfriend is also a caretaker to B. And, people kind of set the timeline on fire, and there were essentially two factions of people. There were the people that felt like it is okay for him to have a girlfriend. It is okay for him to move on with his life. Blase, blase. What is he supposed to do? His wife doesn't even remember him half the time. Mm-hmm. Then there's the other faction that was like, the shit is fucked up. You better not ever.
Well,
so I guess the question that I have is, where do you lie on that spectrum? You're married. So if Alicia was to have some type of debilitating illness to where she did not recognize you or needed care to the extent to where she was not able to really be with you in any meaningful way anymore, what do you think you would do?
Ooh, that's tough. I remember I was picking with her one time, and I said, yeah, man, this is what I'm going to do if this ever happened to you. And then she was like, well, I was just letting my brother know that you did. I say, but I'll just be like, she ain't remember that we broke up, though. She don't remember we together. So, I mean, I feel like I'm free. But but it's a tough thing because okay, it's one of those situations. We see this a lot. A situation where someone goes through something that is life changing, life altering. Either person becomes paralyzed, and all of a sudden you have to wait on them hand and foot. Um, you see it a lot with like veterans who come back from war and they're you know amputees or things like that. So on one end, you're like, hey, is it fair? And I use that term loosely to tell someone they should say, hey, I understand she is going through this and you need to be there for her regardless, even if she don't remember you. Almost somewhat putting your life on hold to, quotations around that, but not really. But then on the other hand, you're like, hey, till death do us part. That's your wife. Even though she may not remember this, it's still kind of messed up. So I don't know, man. I'm in between on that one. I don't like telling people what to do. Me personally, I'd try to be as faithful as possible and try to take care of my home. But would I say it would be hard not to, find something new? Yeah, I'm not gonna be, lie about that because you're like, well, I don't know. Is it right for me to go ahead and get this in while she don't remember shit? I don't.
Well, here's the thing. Here's where it gets messy. Mm-hmm. Apparently, not because here's the thing. This is their marital home. She still resides there. She still has. There are still, stretches of time where she is lucid and does know what is going on and is aware of what's going on. Yeah. And when they did this kind of article and they discussed the fact that she is upset about what is going on when she has these moments of lucidity. Mm-hmm. So she's not on board with this. And I think that is the discussion a lot of people are having. Well, she doesn't remember. But my whole thing about her not remembering is, and how is she consenting to you changing the dynamics of your marriage?
Yeah. And I mean, that brings up another question too, because if she's unaware of the changes and the things that you have started, it's still infidelity regardless.
Right, because even though she doesn't know, which is right. To me, it's like cheating. If you're cheating on your husband or your wife and they haven't found out yet, it doesn't mean you're not cheating. It just means they don't know.
Yeah. So
because this poor woman does not remember that you're married, that absolves you. You took the vows too. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's the crazy part. And what makes it even more messy is that he is now starting business ventures with the new girlfriend.
Whoa.
And why? I think that is the part that people have forgotten about. B. Smith has built this empire, which not to say that he has not helped, but he has benefited from her stardom.
It's her name on it, though.
He's benefited from her name and her stardom. And then, lo and behold, they were doing this press run and putting all these things out here about this woman. And then you look at her Facebook fan page, and it is a picture of him and the new girlfriend promoting a podcast and a show that they are doing together from his wife's fan page.
Wow.
And I think that is the part that outraged people the most. Yeah, man. Even if I can get past the fact that you have moved your girlfriend into your home with this person, you are now using her access and her name to promote ventures that you and the new girlfriend are doing together. Like, you're moving foul.
Yeah, that's foul. That should be ill. I don't, business law and things like that. That shouldn't be allowed, especially if she ain't sign off on that.
And that's what they were saying. People that know her say that that's just not her. You know what I'm saying? The people that know her, like, that's not something that if she was in her right mind or didn't have Alzheimer's, that she would be okay with.
No.
And they were saying that even in the book that they wrote when she first got diagnosed with Alzheimer's, they told a story where she slapped him in a restaurant because he was heavy pressing, like flirting with the waitress, like pressing her hard, trying to get her number, trying to get at her, pressing her with the woman sitting there because he's thinking that she's not lucid.
So my nigga's just mad disrespectful
out of him. Exactly. And then people and that's what I'm saying. People are just like, oh, now she's sick and he shouldn't put his life on hold. But they're not taking it all in context. And like I said on Twitter, he is not the first person and nor will he be the last to have to take care of a sick spouse.
Mm-hmm.
And yet there are so many people in the world that have managed to allow their spouse to have whatever disease or whatever they have going on. They have allowed them to live a life with dignity and managed not to have them out here looking fucking crazy.
Well, I think
there are thousands of people who have to deal with that every day. It is not an issue of you getting a girlfriend. It is an issue of bringing this woman to live in the house with you, and that's the person that's still your wife.
Wait, here's what you're doing. And this is why I also say a lot of dudes aren't smart. And you could tell that he wasn't the one that ran the business because you're bringing in a person from the outside, which all she got to really do is latch on to you. And before you know it, now she get part of that empire.
Right.
And you dumb enough to allow it.
Because then there's something, when this woman passes away, I'm assuming her will is probably set up to where her money goes to her husband.
Mm-hmm. Unless she has some kids.
Which is my understanding that she has a stepdaughter, which is her husband's daughter. That is the only children that they have.
No.
So it's not even her child.
Okay.
So my assumption is that her money is going to him. So then when she dies and he decides, okay, well, good as I feel, I can marry this girlfriend. If something happens to him, then all of this woman's money is now this other woman's.
Man, here's what it is. So old Dan Gaspy, which is his name. Bad thing is she even like him enough to give her his last name or nothing. But I guess the woman he's dating is called Alex. I'm assuming Lerner, Lerner.
Yes, Lerner.
So she's 53, and what is looking like, especially if she's just a caregiver, this is her last chance to make it in life. That's what it seems like.
So here's the thing with Alex Lerner. Alex Lerner is she comes from money. She's that's at Hampton's set, that Hampton's crowd. So I'm gonna say the thing that I've been avoiding saying while laying the story out. So just for transparency, she's white, ladies and gentlemen.
Of course. We know.
So just for transparency, this is a white woman because most black women are not going to move up in the house over your sick ass wife or husband. No black people are doing that shit. So she white. And Alex Lerner comes from money. She has her own money. So I'm not sitting here saying that she's some type of gold digging heifer or whatever. They met at some type of high end event out in the Hamptons because that's the sort they run in. Though.
Kardashians have money too, but where do they always try to lie their head?
With somebody with some money,
with somebody with more bread.
Well, people with money like people with money because then they don't have to give the people with the money their money. So it's not like that's a bad strategy. I'm not mad at this for the strategy. And that's what I'm saying. I think a lot of it, the fault just lies with a lot of different people, right? Because like you said, it's a hard place to navigate because I'm not saying that man should put his life on hold and he shouldn't be allowed because I mean, reasonably speaking, even when I had that when I said the part about consent, she can't consent to anything. And if a person does not even remember you from day to day, it is very hard for you to be intimate with them or convince them that you're married. So I'm not saying that he's supposed to force himself on B. Smith because she does not remember. I mean, unless he's doing like from 51st Days, so you got that every time she wake up, you got that videotape playing. Hey, remember me? Yeah. So I mean, I think what my final thought about it is that it's not bad for him to have a girlfriend. It is not bad for him to try to live his life to the best that he can, even considering his wife's condition. The issue is using your wife's access and her star and the things that you have built together to then bring somebody else into the fold to reap the benefits of that, and then using your wife's name and platform to promote that. And then on top of that, you have brought this person into your home. If you want to have a girlfriend, there's nothing wrong with you and your girlfriend going to the house that your girlfriend has or that you have purchased for her or some type of apartment that you have gotten this woman and going there and spending time with her. Because God knows they have enough money to give B. Smith the type of care that she can have in home and be fine. Because if you are living if the idea here is that she does not remember you, then what is so bad about having somebody there for around the clock care so that you were able to go still spend some time with this woman outside of your home together? See, I don't know, man. I just don't think. I mean, and then because here's the thing. Realistically speaking, if that was Alicia, and then you had Raylan and Taya, do you think that Raylan and Taya would be okay with you moving some woman into the home and their mom is still there? I just don't think the shit will fly. They absolutely would not be okay with that. And I think the only reason that this shit is flying is because there's nobody else there to step in and say, wow, this is fucked up.
Yeah. See, personally, I'll be a lot smoother than that. I mean, because I ain't bringing nobody into the house like that. I mean, I don't know. It's my issue with older men, especially older brothers. When there's a lot of them who are mad disrespectful when you think about it, and they'll be the ones that you find out had like whole ass families. So every time he was going out to work, he was actually going to pay his other family a visit. Right. And you know, it's just crazy because like to even think to have another woman in the presence of your actual wife, you either mad disrespectful or you think you just got it like that.
It's wild. And that's the part that I think that's the part that kind of, I think that's where the enraged part, where everybody was just so upset because you're thinking to yourself, this is a real life scenario. This is some shit that could happen to you. This is not some rich people shit, that could never, it's not that. This is some real life shit that people deal with every single day. And it's scary because how do you navigate that? Do you put that, do you put that in your will? Do you have a conversation with your spouse, your significant other, and be like, well, hey, if I become incapacitated, that doesn't mean you get to move another nigga in. That doesn't mean you get to go move a bitch in our house. Is that a conversation that you have to have? I
mean, is it till death do us part till till I'm fucked off?
Or is it in sickness or in health, or is it until I get sick and you don't want to deal with me anymore? Like, and that's a scary thing to have to look in the face. You think that you and this person are going to be together forever and that you're going to grow old together, and you really do have to look at this and really kind of sit down with yourself and have a really good deep thought and maybe a hard conversation about what happens if one of you gets sick. Because then in your mind, you're thinking, am I married to the type of person that I have to bring this up to make sure that they would not do some shit like this to me? Man, and that's scary. That's scary to think about.
I don't even have confidence in people in the idea of marriage anyway, because hell, half people break up with each other because they put on weight. or they lost a job, or, so we really aren't, willing to stand the rain, as a New Edition once said.
Yeah, the vows don't really mean what they used to mean, and that's real.
They sound good,
but that's not what people are doing. And so, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's some wild shit to have to think about. But you kind of have to. And even if it's not this particular scenario, it's, what if I become a vegetable? How long do I want you to leave me on life support? What does that look like? If I was at a quality of care to where I could not remember you and you were having to put diapers and shit on me, like, how long would I want that to go on?
Yeah. She over there like, oh, doctor, it's so bad. Go ahead and pull the plug. We talk about this. And you over there blinking like, no, I didn't. Like, what you mean?
No, look at SOS. No.
Like, well, ma'am, he looked like he's blinking. Oh no.
No, he's totally not. Well, I'm pushing a pillow on top of his face. No, he didn't say anything. He totally wants this.
Oh, I think he just got an itch. He's trying to scratch. Don't worry about that. Like, ain't that a bitch?
But yeah, I think, like I said, I think it's a hard, like, even the conversation, like, you get older, it's just a conversation about what happens if someone dies. Like, I think those are just conversations that we, unfortunately, at our age, at maybe, late 20s, early 30s, are conversations that we should be having with our significant others and spouses. And we're just kind of not in a place because we don't look at ourselves as really being old enough to be worried about that. But
hey,
it's something to consider.
I already told mine, hey, if I die early, you can't get remarried till these kids older. That's messed up, but still.
No, I feel like that's fair. Well, here's a question. If something happens to your spouse or whatever, what do you think is a good age if you have children? How old do you think your children should be realistically before you decide that it's okay for you to get remarried? Or how long do you think it's okay for you to mourn the death of a spouse before you move on and start dating again? Do you think that looks different for everybody? Do you think there's like a specific set of time that you should wait?
Man, I think it's different. I don't know, man. You got some people, they just waiting for that day. They like, oh man, finally. So I'm just saying, this is true.
Yes, he's dead.
Like, God damn, that nigga, by the time he died, gosh, shit. I don't know how much longer I could have dealt with that. You know, some shit.
I had 3 heart attacks. He just wouldn't die.
Hey, I kept giving him this greasy ass food for a reason.
Was changing out his blood thinners and his blood pressure medicine for sugar pills, and he still wouldn't die.
Oh man, I mean, I never thought about that though, because I'm like, me personally, due to the conversation earlier, I'm already discouraged from the dating realm. Period. I'm like, I would not be a nigga that thrive in that shit because I don't have the patience. But so, I think if you know, God forbid, if something like that were to happen, I think I will probably wait till the youngest girl is like out of the house, and then I may consider it.
And I think that's fair, and which I think is interesting, because I think what happens with men normally is they are more likely to remarry just because women are like, oh, you need somebody to step in and help you with your kids. Just think, I think it's like, it's almost more normalized for men to move on and get remarried if something happens to their spouse, where women, it's kind of like they have to become martyrs, right? Like they have to like martyr themselves, or like their dead husband is a martyr and they have to be single and be like the best super mom ever and never be with another man, and their parents look at their kids looking at them crazy if they get a new man. Like it's very odd to see that difference.
See, I don't know. I did both to my dad, to my mom and dad. Them niggas couldn't date because they weren't together. That's why. So I remember. Actually, funny story. I remember. I want to say I was like 9. This is where it all started. So reason I've been an asshole for early ages. So I remember it had some girl come over, which I always said my dad for some reason had like a fascination with white girls. You know, but we'll discuss that at another day. So I went up to his house in the summer, and they had some girl come on, and she came on like 3 days straight. And then one day I just tried to turn to her and was like, man, what are you doing here? She was like, huh? I was like, man, you been coming over here for like a couple of days. What do you want?
Well,
and she was like, oh, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, man, what you trying to? I said, look, me and my dad trying to spend time with each other. You need to go home. And my dad just kind of looked like, oh shit. It was funny because he said old girl was like crying afterwards, like, oh, he hates me and blah blah blah. And it's like, yeah, bitch, move around. But
you wrong for that. He said, yeah, bitch, move around. Wow.
Hey,
are you sure? Is it because she was white though? Let me just ask that. Is it because she was white?
Well, see, I was that kid that I was like, look, my parents, they can get back together one of these days. And it probably was because of that too. I don't know, probably a little bit. But and I don't know, man. It's like, because I remember I looked at, when I first met his wife, I looked at her a little funny style. Cause one, nigga ain't tell me he even got remarried. And so just like a couple years later, I go and meet him, and he's like, oh, this is my wife. And I kind of just looked at her like, yo, what? So, but I do agree though, generally speaking, men, but I think it's also because to be honest, let's go ahead, every guy can speak on this or whatever, but I just think a lot of our existence has a lot to do with women. So it just seems like, we need y'all around to function properly, really. Where on the other side, I don't know how much y'all really need us. Which is also why I think there's a lot of issues when it comes to dating. Because if a man can't use his resources as a function to prove his worthiness, then a lot of them don't really have personalities.
That is unfortunate. But then on the flip side, there are a lot of women who use their assets to get to where they want. And without those specific set of assets, they don't really have much personality either.
Yeah, I mean, that's true too. I mean, because a lot of things that the women try to do after a while, hey, look, everybody can do that.
Yeah, I mean, so there's always this, what do you bring to the table conversation. But the truth of the matter is, y'all probably need to each bring a half of the table there, and y'all need to just build the table together.
Yeah,
like, can y'all bring some screws and a half a table, and y'all put that bitch together there. Because this part where we got to ask who brought what to the table and where it's at. Listen, a lot of these bitches don't have nothing to bring to the table but a good full set of coffin nails and a wax pussy, and a lot of these niggas got like some mediocre dick and half a bottle of Hennessy and a Gucci belt. Yep. So, I mean, I'm just saying, it's a lot of folks asking about some shit to bring to the table, and they have nary shit to put on the table, not a pot to piss in, and not a piece of wood to build a fucking table with.
See,
so we can just cut the shit.
I think when people say, "What do you bring to the table?" they really are saying, "Hey, how can you elevate me? What do you have that I need?" That type of stuff, and.
But that's the thing. Does anybody have what you need? You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that's interesting to me. It's always this: what does another person have that you need to elevate or complete or whatever? But I've always been of the mindset it should not take another person to complete you or make you want to elevate. That is something you ought to be ready to do on your own. So that person ought to compliment you. So it shouldn't be what you bring to the table. Again, it should be, well, hey girl, we got this table here.
You got some chairs? We can complete the set. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, hey girl, we finna get nigga, can you help? Can you bring, I got screws and some wood, you got screws and some wood. Let's get these hammers out and build some chairs. That's what I'm saying. People are asking what you're bringing to the table, trying to put some shit on top of it. And I get having a base and feeling like you and this person have something in common to build from, but this expectation that people have their life fully there's an expectation that a person should have their life to some extent fully formed before they come sit at the table with you. And I get that. Because I do not want somebody that I have to try to walk through getting their life together. And nobody should have to do that. No. Period. Man, woman, giraffe, monkey. You should not have to help a person become a fully formed adult. I'm not going to do that.
And the bad thing is, this guy kind of goes, it's just pure laziness, honestly. Because we always look to, let's just get like this. We look to others to complete us. We only want to improve ourselves when we're pressed to do so. So, like, you know how a lot of people always say, oh, when women, just using it as an example, when women have a glow up, they went through a bad breakup. So now you get back there and you back on the market again. So now you have to elevate yourself to be appealing again to the general masses. And
instead of making sure that you're appealing all the time to the person that you're with.
Or even putting in that, because here's the thing, it's like we're so backwards. We work harder after we lose something. It's like, no, you got it. Work while you have it. Why are you working afterwards?
We get comfortable. We like to, as we would say, we like to rest on our laurels, right? We think we've accomplished what we needed to accomplish. And so we just kind of rest on the laurels and sit there. So then you get fat, talk about happy fat. Then you gain weight, you're eating good, just cuddling up, loving on each other. Nobody's going to the gym. Nobody's, whatever. So I think it happens with a lot of people, but I think that we really need to get in this mindset of constant improvement, regardless of who or what we are with or what we are doing. And if that idea of growth and constant improvement is something that we all strive for, then there's not ever going to be a conversation about what you bring to the table, because the table's going to be there. Everybody's going to have their own table. It's not what you bring to the table. It's like, I got a table, you got a table, we put one in the dining room. Maybe we need to get a bigger house to put the other one somewhere. Maybe and I think that's the idea, right? We need to kind of focus on getting to a place where we're not trying to put puzzle pieces together, and instead we come in with a fully done puzzle that we can all look at and admire.
Yeah, man. That's funny too, because I'll say this and then we go ahead and start closing. But it's kind of like even with men, with that whole thing of bringing things to the table, and like just watching my mom date, it's been like a real eye opener too, because she's older, of course, but older guys, how I'm realizing how a lot of these older guys are hard.
They don't want older women. Well, they don't want older women.
They don't have any. It's like a lot of them got to move in. You got to move in with her. Now, I put it like this. I'm not knocking if it's one of those situations where, hey, I've been single all my life. I got a 1-bedroom apartment and here you are and you got kids. Okay, I understand. I may have to move in with y'all. Or I'm going to get something. We're going to go look for something for us to all go into. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I've always been that person. I don't like to ask for much. So I always want to come with something and try to work as a team to build something. But everybody is not built that way. So.
Well,
And
and I think you hit the nail on the head, right? I think a lot of it is just you have to think about the situation, and if a lot of when you get older and you're dating, for me, like for instance, because I mean, you're not really dating anybody, or you're not dating nobody.
no, not only
your
on
wife, your
weekends.
wife, your wife. You date her on the weekends. But it's one of those things where, like now at 33, like the whole conversation about kids. If I meet somebody and they're like, okay, I have 2 kids. I'm like, okay, that's nice, and then I let them tell me about their kids or whatever, because it's one of those things where I could wish and hope and say all day that I want a man with no kids, but chances are he probably gonna have a kid or two, and I just kind of have had to prepare myself for that. But that also means that logistically and realistically speaking, if I am meeting this person and they do not live here, or we have a long distance relationship, if we're going to be serious about each other, I have to be prepared to maybe move to where this person is, because I would be asking them to move away from their children.
Mm-hmm.
I would be asking them to not be a part of their children's lives to come be with me, and I'm one person. So I think logistically, you do have to kind of look at those things.
Honestly, you have people who will ask that, and you got some people who will comply, which, hey.
Which is, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I'm not knocking anybody. If you feel like your kids are in a place where you could up and move and you wouldn't be upset about not seeing them multiple times a week and being a summer and a holiday dad or whatever, it's not on me to judge you for that. It's not. But I just feel like my thought in my mind would be that if you have small children, you should want to be a part of their life as much as you possibly can, especially when they're that age. So I don't think I would ever ask a man to move away from his children. That's not something I could feasibly ask a person to do.
See, I would ask the ladies, and you can answer this too, but I don't know. I always thought it would be weird. Like, even, as a man, and, if I were to have dated any woman with children, I will look how they interact with their kids. And honestly, if she's like never with her kids, or the kids are always with someone else, I have questions. And you like, man, you don't mother your children? It's like, what are you doing? So I always wonder, like, on the flip side, I always felt like, as a woman, if you saw a dude and he said he has kids, but if you call him,
never
he's like
with them.
never with them, is he really someone to consider? Because if you do get serious with this person, and you have children, how is he going to interact with them? Or is he only going to really love them based on proximity?
Woo!
I'm just saying.
I don't fucking know. I don't know what these deadbeat fathers do. Pay child support. That's all I got to say. Pay child support.
Man, I don't know, man. I like I said, I can't speak
kids. Quit collecting children like Infinity Stones.
Hey, man, look, trying to build that squad. Hey, man, I need a ball player. Hey, at least if I know I have 5 kids out here, just by sheer probability, one of them gonna at least make some money somewhere.
This not the Quaker Oats farm. You ain't got no dairy farm. We ain't sharecroppers. You don't need all the fucking kids to help you fucking pull the crops in. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't need all the kids to help you with your corn crop. We're not doing that.
Hey, man, look, I don't know. Anyway, let me go ahead here. V, man, tell me folks where they can find you. Because I got another conversation I want to have.
For me.
Huh?
I said, nowhere. Don't look for me.
Yeah.
No, seriously. All bullshit aside. Again, child support. Please take care of your children. Seriously. And if you're a woman and you supposed to be paying child support, sis, I don't care if you push it out your pussy. Please pay your child support. That shit's raggedy too. Anyway, I'm trying to think if I have any other PSAs for the people.
Wait, hold on. Before you do it, ladies, I want to do an experiment. Send me all the if you want to, we can discuss it here, and we can like just really go in on whoever. But send me all the craziest DMs you ever had. I'm doing an experiment.
Yes, you can send them to either one of us or to the show's DM. We check that too. But we want to see. We obviously will not say your Twitter names. We will not say the person's name. But if you would like to send us your craziest strangest DMs with men too. If you want to send us a
fellas,
DM,
if you getting some saggy lips in your DM, hey, let us know.
tell us all about it. Send us screenshots we want to see. We will obviously redact things that you tell us to, but we will start a new segment where we read your craziest DMs. If you would like to send us messages that you get on dating profiles, we'll take those too. So yeah, we'll read those on the show. That's totally doable. We'll knock that out. Any other church announcements, PSAs?
Oh, the only other thing is, I saw this one. It was one picture. I think it was somebody screenshotted it from Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, Instagram. Ladies, a curling iron, regardless of how it looks, is not a dildo. Please don't use them.
Don't plug it in. Yes. Don't plug it in and it gets hot. It will burn all your shit up. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
imagine if Revlon got to start putting that on the package. Please do not use outside of hair use.
Yeah, it's not intended for any use outside of hair product. That's wild. I just want y'all to do better. Let me see what else is there. Happy Groundhog's Day. Apparently there's 6 more weeks of winter. Happy Black History Month.
Black History Month. We're gonna try to bring out a couple of history facts. We're gonna try to record at least 4 times this week, so we're gonna try to bring a fact every week. Go ahead. But in between, in the meantime, we will try to put you some Black History facts on the show's Twitter. We'll keep it interesting, so they won't all be 100% historically accurate. Don't get mad at me, because I'm not gonna give a fuck. All right. What else do I got? PSA to y'all, it is tax season. Just want y'all to know the hobosexuals are out in full force. Make sure that you are minding your purse, your pussy, your penis, your wallet. Thank you very much. Do not let people into your home who you can then claim as dependents next tax season. Unless they are children. Don't do it. All right. That is all I have. Now, back to that thing you were asking me about. Where can the people find me? Find me places. Yes. It is at BJ_Burton on Twitter and on Instagram. On Snapchat, it is Meek B. Again, the normal disclaimer, do not send me your penis, because I'm going to start outing you and telling people on this show that you are sending people your penis. Stop it. Thanks. Oh man. First of all, I've never been that dude just out the blue like, yo, hey, click. What you think? Right.
It happens.
Either you gotta be that confident or
I think it's pulling up from the bleachers. It's pulling up from the goddamn baseline. It is at this point.
I guess dudes out here swaggy peeing it, huh? Shooting it up, turning around, celebrating too early. But hey, it is what it is. All right, man. So I have been on somewhat of I guess social media hiatus. I'm still, I still peek in from time to time. But if you do message me directly or at me, I will answer. I promise. And you can also, so mine personally is _Q_the_great. But if you want to also hit up the show and send us anything, requests, questions, it doesn't matter. That'll be at chopping, no G, it up _pod. Other than that, I think that's about it for this week. Anything else, V? You got all the announcements out of the way?
I think we've covered all the church announcements. Thanks you guys for being patient with us and rocking with us. We know we'd be on some bullshit. Yeah. We be on bullshit, yo, and we understand that y'all be like, so y'all not just gonna put out an episode in 27 weeks. Listen, we get it. We're working on it. We're trying to be better people. So as we usually say, thank you for rocking with us, old listeners, new listeners. Thank you again for your undying support and not, cussing us out when you see us.
Well, we're trying to build that anticipation, like waiting for a Marvel movie or something. Anyways, hey man. Nah, but we appreciate it. Thank you again, and we up out.
Laters.